3210, 3210. Resistance at 20, 28, 33, 40, 49. Support below at 32 even, 30, 189, 81, 74, and 66. Pivot 3210. Support at 32 even, 3189, 81, 74, 66. Resistance on the upside at 20, 28, 33, 40, and 49. See, we got a little bit added volatility here this morning. So keep that in mind if you are trading. Look, maybe 4 or 5 points given the break yesterday afternoon and what's going on here. So keep that in mind if you are trading here with this push here to the downside. You know that every time we start going down or breaking, depending on how you call it, the market seems to add some volatility to the mix. So we have to consider that and add that also when we are trading as well. So that is where we're at. Market kind of upticks here a little bit, kind of getting a little bit of a rotation here to the upside. And it's coming up here against our 20. Well, not quite well, depending on how you scale in. If you scaled in there at the 19 area, you're getting paid off there a little bit. Again, added volatility. Gotta remember things are a little bit different when that happens. So if you get in there at the 19 area, again, not everybody did that, but if you did okay. Again, everybody's just a little bit different in how they scale into a level that we always talk about scaling in because we are not going to be perfect, and we give ourselves a little bit of latitude without getting upset at ourselves. And it also gives us a chance to play our level, considering the situation, you know, the volatility and movement. So again, if you did get in there at the 19 area, you're getting paid off here very good. If you didn't, it's okay. Again, just be patient and wait for the next opportunity here. The next support level we have down on the downside is 32 even area. As the market's kind of moving around here, this added volatility. See, it says recent reports have suggested the FDA was considering stricter guidelines for emergency use authorization of coronavirus vaccine, though the White House may not approve of them. It sounds like a political move. President Trump said in a press conference. When you have Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, these great companies coming up with vaccines, and then they have done testing and everything else, then why would the FDA have to add great lengths to the process? decisions to authorize the approval of such vaccines or therapeutics will be made by dedicated career staff of the FDA, and science will guide our decisions, said the commissioner of the FDA. Okay. While market volatility is going away, not going away, as Wall Street experiences more whiplash on Wednesday, with stocks closing broadly lower and futures pointing lower overnight today. Labor Department expected to release jobless claims, which came out at 877 versus the 840 that they were expecting, and the lowest reading since March of 14th, right before the coronavirus lockdown. That may not be enough for investors who are largely giving up on the idea that Congress to approve a fresh COVID-19 stimulus package. All right, so there you have it. Now you know why markets was kind of rallying, maybe, according to this person. Doesn't mean that it's always the case, but it is what it is. The market kind of slipped, thought they were maybe going to get even, and then just came right back up here. It's going right back up here to our pivot area. And very quiet. Well, not quiet, but missing our entry points by just a little bit. Obviously, the upside there, a little tenuous, because probably take the upper end of the range there, around the 20 now, if you're going to take it, or if you're going to wait till the 28, depending on how much risk you are willing to take. All right, just kind of come back up here to the pivot. That's a possibility. They might be increasing their margins because of the volatility. Who knows? Maybe that's the case. Some firms, they did increase the volatility when in March they did increase the margins for each contract. So I'll repeat the levels this morning. Our pivot this morning is 32.10, 32.10. Support at 32 even, 31.89, 81, 74, 66. Resistance above at 20, 28, 33, 40, and 49. Okay, coming quickly down here to the even area. Again, be a little bit careful and keep your stops in. We always suggest that because it keeps us in the game, as you know. Again, if you did scale, depending on your scale up on the upside there, maybe you were able to get the 20 area there if you got in at 19. All right, nice little push here. Good for 4 points here off of this. Now we're getting a little bit more here. So nice little trade there against the even area. All right, so we had a nice little bounce there off of our even area. Again, if you played the even straight up, this time you got it. Again, depending on how you scaled. But either way, you should have been able to get in because it did get all the way down to 9.5 there, 99.5. So if you just got in at 32 even, then you did okay. And a nice quick, you gotta like those. Those are the ones that you don't have to think too much. Like them once in a while for us. The next level on the downside we have is the 81 area. The market continues to downtick here. It had a little resistance up at 10 there. If you were a little aggressive, maybe you took that trade. All right, so but that was a little aggressive there in a rotation off of the 04, and that dipped quickly down to 05. Maybe it bounced right up to our pivot. There's also our blue band there. Maybe you got short if you wanted to. And we did go down to our 32 here. Again, we are trying to take advantage of ebbs and flows of the market. We are scalping the market. We don't believe markets go straight up or straight down. Consequently, we're trying to find those inflection points where the market will give us an opportunity to scalp, which is the technical term for what we do. We're scalping the market, but also they have to be patient and wait for the opportunities to get triggered instead of watching the market move around and say, "Oh, wait, I think I gotta get in." So that's a good way of not making money or taking advantage of the market volatility. But that's what we do here on an everyday basis. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask and put them in the question box area. All right. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. As the U.S. high-yield bond issuances for 2020 have eclipsed the prior annual sales record of $329 billion, set in 2012, according to data compiled by Bloomberg, as companies reap the benefits of Fed's liquidity boosting and zero interest rate policy. The support has effectively turned the industry into a borrower's market. and all-in yields for U.S. junk bonds have dropped to 5.81, near the pre-pandemic levels. Jitters may be coming. The biggest ETF focused on sub-investment grade debt, the iShare High Yield Corporate Bond ETF, was hit by nearly $1 billion of outflow on Monday, the largest single day outflow since the start of the coronavirus. Because they don't like the high yields anymore because there aren't any. Gee, what a surprise! Market upticks here, kind of gone retested the low there again and come back up here. Again, if you're going to do the 20, be careful. Definitely lighten the load there because, like I said, we just missed our. If you were doing it by half point, we just missed our entry point by just that much. And if you did it by a point, then you did well. So the level is a little bit tenuous, given the fact that it probably did make a little bit of profit for some of us, and I can understand if it didn't, and you are, not going to take the level because it's a little bit more risky. So that's definitely doable, and then just kind of wait for the 20th level above. Nice trade there, Stephen. Again, remember, this level is a little bit more tenuous now, so I wouldn't recommend taking the level right now. Probably better to look for the 28 level. Very nice, very good. Nice, very nice. Okay, I like it when you guys let me know that you guys are getting out of here early. Good job. All right, next level on the upside we have is 28. right, to go right up there to the 27.5. I don't know if you got filled up there. Kind of bounced up there really quick, but now you did. Coming up here to the 28 area. Quick rotation there off of the even area. All right, working the 28 area here. All right, nice quick 4-point rotation off of the 28 area. So you do gotta like the volatility here because it does give us, sure we have to extend our stops, but at least we are getting some movement, which is nice to see. And if we find these areas of inflection, all the better. And remember, this is what we do here. We're trying to find these opportunities for you to make some money. The point of what we do is to teach you how to do this. This is what we want to do, so you can independently do this on your own. That's the goal of the course, to find these areas, levels, and to say, okay, I feel confident in trading it and giving me an opportunity. Now, some of you have maybe stayed long from the even area. If you felt so inclined to, and of course you have that opportunity to. Yeah, I kind of just I don't watch the price action when it's sometimes when it's slower I do, but when it's quick like this, there's a lot of stuff going on that you don't even see. So it's not it's happening so fast. So it's kind of harder to watch price action, in the morning hours than it is later in the afternoon. I think you can, because it's a little bit slower and the ranges are tighter. But to get any clue from the price action when it's moving around like this is, I don't know, trying to catch something when it's going really fast. Oh my goodness, they're there. It's not a good story. Um, yeah, I can tell you a couple stories about mistakes. And the one thing I've learned about mistakes, it's a mistake. And I would say just get out of the mistake and just call it a mistake, and it happens to everybody, right? In business, there's always like mess ups, and this job, it's easier to get yourself in trouble trying to get out of a mistake, as you could tell. And I could tell you stories about me trying to do the same thing. Yeah, well, that's what happens. That's what happens. You do silly things, you know, and compounds the situation worse. Unfortunately, I've been there, but I've learned when I make a mistake or there's a problem or there's an issue, get out of it. Maybe take the day off, especially because mistakes usually are going to be you're not going to call it a mistake if you made a mistake and it's profitable. You're going to say, "Oh, wow, I got lucky." Um, but mistakes, you get yourself into this like, oh, I'm just trying to get out of it. I'm trying to, scratch it, maybe lose a little bit because I effed up. Trust me, I've done it. Every time I've tried to work out of it, you get into a deeper, deeper, deeper hole, and it just doesn't. I've done it so many times. I mean, I know where you're at. Yeah, I mean, you just get to this like, I don't look. You all you can do at this point, since you got out of it, and maybe took a couple of days off because I didn't see in the room. Maybe you did. I mean, that's the thing you got to remember about half of trading. Well, not half, but a good chunk of trading is your head, and how you deal with losses, obviously, because those things are going to happen in this business, and then how you deal with um, a mistake, or like again, the good mistakes are never, they're easy to swallow, and you don't think about them even as mistakes. You're like, oh, okay, good, I made money on this mistake, but you don't call it a mistake. You call it a oops. It's much easier to call it a oops than it is a mistake. So those things happen, but yeah, well, I'm glad you took a couple of days off and refresh your brain and tell think about what you did, and then say, all right, I know that if it's happened, it's going to happen again. I hate to tell you, it's going to happen again. I'll give you a. Yeah, you're lucky that it was well. It's a good thing you made that amount of money the week before. Unfortunately, it's not what you want to do, but you don't want to give it back the following week. But so something even happened to me not too long ago here. It was, I think it was. I think it was. I don't know. It wasn't too long ago. These events in my life lately have been happening weirdly, and whether it was my mom dying or my mother's house on fire or my friend passing, I started taking a couple of days off here and there. So I had my computer on in the morning, and I had orders in there, but I wasn't going to trade that much. I just wanted to trade like the first half hour, and I had a meeting or something to go to. I don't know what it was. I don't remember the exact events. So I had the order. So I had the order on my computer, and then all of a sudden, I lost power for like a second, and my charts went down, my screen went down, and everything kind of went down. And my wife says to me, "Come on, we got to get going." And so, okay, we got to get going. Then my chart came back, and my wife told me we got to get going. So I said, "All right." So I didn't log back into my trading platform. I figured, oh, okay, that's done. I'm done. I don't think I just forgot that I put in a couple of orders in there, right? And wouldn't you know it, I'm getting these like phone calls from the exchange, from my broker shop that I have these like positions on. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? My screen, my platform when I X out of it, it tells me if you want to exit out of it because you still have a position on. So I'm like, no, it didn't tell me that when I got out of it. And I completely forgot, and I couldn't figure out when they called me up and they told me or they sent me an email and they go on, of course it's a loser, right? And was it a mistake? Of course, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, probably a mistake, whatever, it's my fault. And if it's a loser and I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is not fun. So, well, this just happened. Um, and I just added it to my flurry of things that are happening in my life these days. So I didn't think really twice about it as we come up here to the quickly to the 33 area. Anyway, so I didn't think twice about it. I just let it be, and of course, it was a loser, and I lost money on it, and now, of course, what did I do? I tried to trade out of it, and that didn't work out. So I lost a little bit more, and then I said, "Okay, F this. Can we get out of here?" And I did. I got out, and I said, "All right, well, you're an idiot," and moved on. And then I couldn't figure out why it happened. I mean, I was like, just for like a day, I was thinking, how in the world did I shut my computer down and it doesn't tell me that I had a position on? Because that doesn't have to happen. And for like a half a day, I kept racking my brain. I go, that's so strange. And I wanted to call the firm. I go, your platform effed up, not me. I'm trying to blame somebody else for it. But yeah, no, it was I had for 1 second a bleep, and cost me like $6,000, and didn't even do anything. It is what it is, right? I guess I should be happy that it only cost me $6,000. But I tried to, to trade out of it for but it just doesn't work. Your mind is not there. I'm very sorry to hear that, but I'm also happy that you're back. And it's I've had plenty of out trades, and out trades you feel that out trades are stupid and dumb. They happen. They're part of the business. They're not a good part of the business. They're a bad part of the business. Call it an out trade. And you guys got to move on. So at least you didn't do what I almost did, was call the brokerage house and tell them your platform messed up and try to blame it on somebody else. But yeah, that's what kind of I was like kind of pissed off that the whole thing occurred, and I was like, how in the world? It took me literally a half day to fix, because I was like racking my brain. I go, I don't do that. I don't turn my, even if I do turn my computer off, it tells me. Then I had that 1 second where I had like a little mini power outage in the house, and at the same moment, my wife said, "Come on, let's go." And I just okay. I just left because my screen was off and I didn't have. I'm like, all right, it's out. I totally forgot about the. So yeah, so it happens. So it's a long story for nothing, but I don't even want to hear about your mistake. Yeah, I don't even want to hear about your mistake because there's so many. Actually, maybe one day we'll talk about it, because when it's a little slower. But yeah, the weirdest stuff happens. When stuff like this happens, it just happens. I can tell you trades that I did in the pit where. Okay, I'll tell you this one trade. This is a goofy trade that happened. So there was this new trader that came in the pit, and um, and he's standing kind of in front of me a little bit, and um, he's I don't think he knew what people are who or what, and it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't that new in the sense, because as we come up here to the 40 area, um, because he kind of knew what how to signal and make certain um, um, hand signals to buy and sell, because there are certain signals that you have to give up when you're buying some quantity. So he he was trying to buy a 7 lot from one of the big traders in the pit, who was offering, I don't know, whatever price it was, and he puts his fingers up there to buy a 7 lot. I don't know if you can envision this. If you do a V shape with your 2 fingers, right, and then put them up to your chin sideways. Okay, the V shape with your 2 fingers, next finger is your middle finger, and put them up sideways to your chin. That's 7. Okay, if you take 2 fingers sideways and put them to the side of your head, okay, if you can envision that, that's 70. Okay, so that's 70. So 7 is 2 fingers sideways to your chin, and 70 is 2 fingers sideways to your temple area, right above, by your ear, right? Okay, so so if you can envision that as market rotates here off of the 40 area. So that's what he wanted. He wanted to buy. I mean, he's a new trader, right? The kid was brand new, so he's trading with this big trader in the pit who's just a bully. And of course, they have an out trade the next morning. And the next morning, the big trader wanted to sell him 70, and the new trader, who's probably never traded a 70 lot more than. I'm surprised that he was trading 7. To be honest with you, I don't know how that kid started trading 7, but he started trading 7. Again, we're rotating down here. Got ourselves a nice quick 4 points. Had to take a little bit of heat on that in case you think I wasn't watching. I was. But that's how this one is working here for us. Anyway, so he wanted to sell him 70, and the other guy only had 7, right? And of course, 70 and 7, 63 contracts difference. And of course, you find out in the morning, right? So that's if you're off. Anyway, there was a loser, of course, and it was like $30,000 loser, because you have to rectify the situation. You can't have one person have 7 and the other person has 70. So we have a problem here, right? So you have 63 contracts that the person who sold him 70 at that price, at whatever price it was, they have 63 more contracts that you're short, technically, at the price that the person was trying to buy the 7, because the other guy sold him 7 is 70. So technically, there's 63 short contracts out there in the bond market. It's $31 a tick, so 63 contracts is like $2,000 a tick. And then, of course, it's a loser, and the trader starts yelling loudly at this kid who, look, again, I don't know how this kid was trading 7 lots. First week he was there, so he obviously knew what he was doing a little bit, but a new trader, he's yelling at him, just profusely screaming at him from the top of his voice, and everybody's looking at him. And the kid is like, what do I say to this guy? He says, the guy's one of the biggest traders in the pit, and he's making him feel like so small. On top of the fact that they've lost 30 grand on the trade, right? There's a potential 30 grand loser, and but stuff happens. So I ended up yelling back at that other trader. I said, just shut the F up, right? I go, you don't have to do that. I go, I'm sure you didn't mean it, and maybe you messed up. Yeah, but no, he wasn't going to tell him that, But I knew the guy, and he's a bully, and you're right. You're saying, oh yeah, bullies, right? I didn't know him. He was a bully, and he, I just basically told him to shut the F up a little bit, leave the kid alone. I'm sure he wasn't feeling good, knowing that he potentially lost, they had to split 30 grand. So yeah, so that stuff happens. I mean, that's one story. I could tell you 100. So, I mean, 100 stories that happened to me. But and I had a clerk who checked stuff. And even with my clerks checking stuff, I come in the morning and I have a problem, and and she it's like, what? How did you have? It happens. This is a stupid question. There's no stupid questions, but were you guys trading your own account in the pit? There are people who are trading their own accounts. There are people who are trading other people's accounts. It all depends on the situation. Everybody is unique. There's not one story the same, one trader the same. Everybody's got their personalities. Everybody's got their own way to trade. So, you know, I was trading my own. I don't know if the kid was trading his own. I don't know their stories when they first come in. You're trading. Sometimes when a new person comes in the pit and he's trading huge size, you know that he's probably not trading for himself. He's probably a broker, because it's very rare that you get a new trader who's in the pit who's just trading huge size, because usually you learn some of the idiosyncrasies of the floor, the pit that you're in, and so if somebody comes in the pit, a new person comes in the pit and he starts trading big size, usually you're thinking, okay, he must be a broker, because why would this guy come in the pit new and start throwing big numbers around? So and there you have it. You had a big winner, right, Jerry? Good. I never thought for one second that I had a position on. And even though after they told me I had a position on, I never thought I had a position on, because the platforms now tell you, hey, you got either orders in the on the screen that they're working or something, and so I was dumbfounded. I'm sitting there saying to myself, "There's no way I had a position on it, because my platform would have told me." As you can tell, it's pissing me off. My platform would have said something to me. But anyway, so those are some stories. Um, Thanks, Serdar, for telling us your bad story. But you did the right thing by taking a couple days off to reconnoiter your brain and say, okay, bad, not going to let it happen again. Figure out how it happened, and they always lead out trades, which is what we call it in the industry, unintended trades, right? Out trades are always losers. I mean, I've had a ton of out trades. I hardly can tell you a good one. I don't have. Usually, I can tell you a story about some of my good and bad trades, right? I do not have a good story to tell you about out trades. I can tell you some bad ones. I don't have one good story where I say, "Oh my God, I made so much money on this out trade." I was like, "Oh, I'll never forget this one." Nope, that never happened. That never happened. I don't know. It doesn't work that way. It's just, unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. I don't know why. It's weird. I don't know. I want to say it's a nature of the business, but it's not nature. It's just law of averages, right? But the law of averages, when you have an out trade, is loser, loser, loser. Like I said, if I had a really good story about an out trade, I would have told you. I mean, first of all, you don't remember all the out trades, and you do remember the bad ones, and I've had a couple of bad ones, but I don't remember any good ones, because they never happened. And I mean, it is a 50-50 thing, right? That you could, yeah, no, no, it's not. It's not. It's just not. As we are really coming back here this morning. Nice rotation there off of the even area, and it keeps pushing up here. Get a nice rotation off of 33, probably. You have to be really quick. I don't know if that worked out, but the 40 worked out very nicely for you. Now we're coming up here. We have 49. Let me give you a couple levels more above here. I don't know if we're going to continue or not, but above the 49, we've got 58 and 70. 58 and then 70. Mm, yeah, well, at least you have limits. That's a good thing. Well, as long as you made it a week, right? As long as you made it, you're good. So unfortunately, let's move on. You know, I did tell you, I will tell you that I was missing your commentary with me, even though I also took a few days off. And when I got back, you weren't there, or you didn't. You give me your usual, you know, comments, and so um, I realized something was wrong. I just unfortunately didn't realize it was because of an out trade. Someday somebody will tell me a good out trade story. Well, somebody did tell me a good out trade story today, still, but yeah, but well, I have a story. There's a story that I have. Somebody in the pit had this out. I'll tell you this out trade story. Somebody in the pit had. So he was a good sized trader, and I was standing next to him, and he talks a lot, but he's a nice guy. Anyway, we were chit chatting, and he had an out trade, and well, he told me his story of his out trade. He had this out trade where he had like a 70 or 100 lot out trade with somebody, and he made like 75 or 80,000 on the out trade. So that's a good story for him, right? So, um, so what did he end up doing? He took his money and got himself a nice little Ferrari or something. So that's a good story. Got his money out. So you know what? Found money. Took it. Bought himself a brand new car, fancy little new car. I think I was at the golf course with him, and I said, "Oh, nice car you got here." Oh, let me tell you a story about this car. Okay. So he told me the story about the car. So yeah, it does happen. Just not to me. I didn't buy no cars with my out trades. Nope. No, I bought somebody else's car. Somebody trading gods. I brought them. I bought them cars. That's for sure. Whatever trading gods they're riding some nice freaking cars up there or wherever they are. All right. Well, 20,000. You know, I'd say you bought him a half a nice car. How's that? I mean, Elon Musk was saying yesterday how he thinks cars are too expensive, so he's trying to bring down the cost of the car. So okay. No, I mean, look, if you're gonna have a good story, well, that's why you're here, man. I can make you laugh about losing 20 grand. Don't worry, it's okay. You, you can talk to me and you feel better about losing your money. because you'll think about it. Wow, oh, yeah, that happened to you. Yeah, I can make you feel better about losing your money. Sometimes I'll say, God, I wish I could only lost your money. You're in the right place for that. He thought I could never feel good about it. I never thought I could laugh about losing the trade. Yeah, I mean, when it's happening, you're like, you know, you're not too happy about it when it's happening. As the market comes off, we had 49 above, zoomed up to the 46 area, came off. Support right now would be around the 21, 20, 19, 20 area. Very, very little choppy little trade here, but at least it's giving us good opportunities. So even though I'm talking and talking about out trades, not the best thing to talk about outside that much, but hey, since we're talking about it, we're making a little bit of money along the way. Somebody asked me, do you call out trades? I do not call out trades for obvious reasons. I have to tell stories, so I can't call out trades. And it's good that I'm telling stories because otherwise you don't get too much talking from me. Well, you do get a lot of talking from me for the first couple of hours, but I am not the talking person. Let me tell you, it's not me. I don't know how you got me talking so much. Only because it's the alternative of putting on CNBC is not too alternatively for me. So this is better. Except I do most of the talking. So my stroke goes, but let's put it this way: I would trade and I would yell and scream, and I loved it. Not to be honest with you, I loved it. It was great, and so my voice, would be hoarse a little bit, scratchy a little bit after. After you trade for, you have this little like scratchiness in your voice. But every time, like if I took a week off or went on vacation someplace and I came back, and then I went on the floor and started trading for a week, I'd lose my voice. Literally, you couldn't hear me talk because my vocal cords weren't ready or anything like that, and I'd completely lose my voice from going back in there and trading. Could you yell and scream once? No. This is I'm not on the floor. No. I left the yelling and screaming for the people on the floor. When you were listening to them sometimes, and they could get a little nasty. A finger stop. They're HD. You too, Jerry. You have a good one. Have a nice rest of the day. I like it when traders leave early. It is really the best thing that can happen to me is when you guys say goodbye to me and it's 9:30 or some of you 9 o'clock. It's the best. I love it. I hate it when we have to stay here all day and wait for a trade for like an hour and a half. Right? But my Mark in California going back to bed. So that's his way of telling me goodbye. He's leaving. He's going back to bed. He has to get up early. But then he has a baby. Maybe that wakes him up. New baby. All right. Market slowly drifting down. Again, a little support around 1920 area. Volatility is stuck back in the market, but at least, like I said, we had some nice trades this morning. Hmm. Wow, this is a good one. JP Morgan is poised to pay $1 billion, almost $1 billion, on what would be a record penalty for investigations into so-called spoofing of metal futures and treasury securities or bonds. Bloomberg said it's also expected that JP Morgan will admit to wrongdoing, an admission many companies generally avoid when settling charges that violate securities laws. Spoofing usually entails flooding derivatives or flooding futures markets with orders that traders do not intend to execute to deceive the others into moving prices in a desired direction. Huh. Who would have thought that happens? Uh, See, they're the only, like I said, how do you spoof? The only way you could be able to spoof and get fined for it is if you have $1 billion in your account and you can like put on as many, put on 1,000 lot that looks up there like the market's going one way or the other. That's great spoofing. See, they got a name for everything. I call it just like lying to the traders looking for price action. You know, but that's what spoofing is all about there. So, and they admitted to it on top of it all. Wow. Look at JP Morgan. I'm surprised it wasn't Goldman Sachs, but that's a totally other craziness story. California has announced the order to ban gas-powered cars in the state by 2035, meaning all new cars sold in the state must be zero-emission vehicles by then. Major automakers are making such an electrification push that in a 15-year timeline, may not be too much of a jolt. 17 countries, including France, the UK, Germany, have also adopted goals to phase out internal combustion engines, according to the International Council on Clean Transportation. So there you have it, Mark. Your kid is going to grow up in an exhaust-free world. Beautiful. When does the CME open up again? I don't know. They were just supposed to open August 10th. How did that go? It ain't happening. There's no new date, no goal. I think obviously the uh, fundamentals of trading kind of and the fact that we have to avoid each other in the real world kind of puts a kibosh on trading in the pit next to each other, screaming, yelling, and spitting on each other for a while. Definitely can't do this with a mask on. I don't think. Can't imagine getting here yelling with a mask on. So the world that we live in right now is keeping the pit trading under control. So until that opens up, until we figure something out there, I don't know. So this is talking to my friend yesterday, and it's this is just like no end in sight here for this thing. You know, president's talking about vaccine, no vaccine. You know, who's going to try it right away? Who's not? How do you believe it? How many people are going to take it right away? You know, you have all these like unknown issues that come into play, and you know, reasonable questions. But doesn't seem like this is going to be like happening anytime soon. So I don't know. What can I tell you? It's the best answer I have for you. Like I said, they were thinking of doing it um, August 10th, not of August 10th of 2021. But that could be a good date. That could be a good date to shoot for. I guess. I don't know. What can I tell you? All right. So let's see here. Powell testifies right now before the Senate Banking Committee. Okay. So there, he's going to. This maybe we're getting a little volatility. Then we have um, Fed speaks at 11, at 12, at 1, at 3:30. We got Fed speaks all day today. So keep that in mind. If you are, I mean, the main Fed speaks is talking right now. So he's obviously creating some volatility, right? That's I have a whole bunch of Fed speaks all day long. Market coming down, we said the 1920 area, a little support. Got down to the 20 area, trying to pop up here a little bit. All right, market is coming down here, testing our blue band if you're going to do anything. If not, just be patient. And I mean, it came off. We had 10 would be our next support down at the pivot, but again, that's a little bit more risky now. So keep that in mind. All right, so market's whipping around here. Take a little bit of a break here, come back in a bit. See what's going to happen. Downside support right now, I would just look for next support level we have on the downside is all the way down at 31. 89. I don't know if we're going to get back down there, but that's our next good support level. All right, come back here in a little bit. Let's see what the market does in a little. Take a let it kind of, definitely trying to see what it wants to do. They have a nice little quick rally and then they nice little break here. Hard to try to catch this one because we kind of went through our levels earlier. On the downside, again, doing 10 right now is a little bit more risky, even though that's our pivot. Definitely working the blue band there. If you are, it's kind of just hanging right hanging right around there. Definitely giving you a chance to get out if you're looking for a chance to get out against it. Uh, we shall see where it wants to go from here. I'll get back in just a little bit.
Hey, Don, quick sound check. Just let me know if you hear my voice. Anybody out there amongst the crew? Hey, Chadby, let me know when you're back. Barbara S., Bamal K., Ralph K. For those that are joining us on the outside, click on the link and join us live in Zoom. For those that are part of the Sal's course and mentoring work, Sal's going to have a session today at noon, 12 Eastern time. For those that are looking to sign up for Sal's Monthly, make sure you do based on the discount. If you miss it, I think that's a good idea. Right now it is 11:13 a.m. Good trading morning. So it's going to be 1 Eastern time, 12 Central time. You got me, Maureen. You know, it's funny. Sal sent it to me too. Being in New York is tough. Everything on the commodity side is Central time. Hey, Robert. Roshan S. Welcome. Roshan, we're concentrating on scalping the S&P 500 E-mini based on a price action trading methodology. Barbara S., let me know if you're back. Bamal K., let me know if you're back. Use the chat feature to respond. We start here at 9 a.m. Eastern time. We open up the service. We connect to Sal's trading computer. Sal True is your host and mentor. He's actively scalping the S&P 500 E-mini for his own account. His usual perch is on the CME Group trading floor in Chicago. They chased everybody out of there because of the pandemic. Wow, Russia, we had a lot this morning. So the way we organize this service is around the morning session. When Sal pops on, I'll give you an overview about what happened today. Sal starts out his day by setting key proprietary scalping levels and gives them out to everybody. Those become the areas that he's looking at for this morning's trade, or the morning's trade. As the market price ebbs and flows and those levels come into play, he has entries, exits, and stops based on price action in and around those areas. Everything we do is for educational purposes only. Nothing is to be taken as direct trading advice. You're trading between you and your broker at your own risk. And Roshan, how did you find this opportunity? Oh, super. Well, we're here every trading day. The focus for individuals is first off to get Sol's levels, his pivot, and his other levels on top and bottom of that pivot. Individuals just pay for his levels, or can just pay for his levels, I should say. And then the morning session, Sol goes through the morning session based on his levels and his price action entries, exits, and stops. And then we're pretty much wrapped up for the day as we come into the noon Eastern time hour. And as I mentioned before, Sol's usual perch is on the trading floor, the trading pits in Chicago at his private booth overlooking the pits. And now he's at his trade, well, ensconced in a secure, undisclosed location, his trade cave. It's a high-tech underground bunker covered by brick and steel and cement. Hey, Barbara S, are you back? Barbara S, Bamal K, are you back? Chad, let me know if you're set up with that. I'll connect you on my end. Just gotta let me know what your name is. I'll look for it here, but and Roseanne, if you want to retweet our tweet, that'd be great.
All right. Let's see what's been going on here. We're actually a little bit range bound here, even though given it's a big range, but we got range bound. We got down to 13 area there and kind of bounced back, and that's basically both sides of our blue band right now, not going anywhere fast. The opportunities we had this morning, our levels kind of got triggered off very nicely here and gave us some good opportunities to make some cash. We had the downside support there at even, which I know a couple of our traders were able to carry on for a little bit more than actually a lot of points as they scaled out of their position, but held some for a nice little ride up. And then we've rotated off of those highs, which we had, but we had the high there. A level we had was 49. It got up to 46 and change, and then came off, and then kind of now is in the middle of this range, and so a little bit of a break off of those levels. So market is, kind of trying to decide what it wants to do up here. Right around the break-even level. The break-even level there is at the 21 area. So it's kind of just basically flipping back and forth on both sides of that level. Upside resistance now is still going to be at 49. Good upside resistance if you want to play price action opportunities. Probably look around the 38, 37 area. But again, if you've been with us most of the morning, I think we did all right with most of our levels there, and so just kind of watching right now, kind of just taking it all in as the market. At this point in our trading day, we're probably looking for our levels more than trying to trade price action, especially if we did well with some of the levels that we gave out this morning. So that's why we're just kind of here in the background. We focus more on the morning hours more than anything else. Those are important times for us to be trading. We look at the opportunity there to be more visible and more apparent with the price action trades in the morning hours, first couple hours, 3 hours, depending on how busy we are. And then once it gets into this range here, like it has, it gets a little bit tough to trade, and consequently, that's not what we're trying to do here. We have to be patient, and we wait for opportunities and wait for the market to kind of give us those entry points and setups. But until that happens, we have to be patient. So because we had a good few runs this morning, we're just now given the just choppiness right now. We're not probably going to be doing too much. Again, any price action opportunities here. Again, do you need to take them if you made money? Probably not. Just kind of wait for the levels to get triggered. I think those would be probably the trades that I'd be kind of focused in on going forward. The levels above here, we have 49, 58, and 70. And below the even on the downside, we have 31, 89, 81, and 74. So those are the kind of levels that I'd be focused on, given the fact that we did well this morning. Just as a reminder, we are going to have a class in this venue that are going to be for people who have taken the course already. Anybody who's taken the course can obviously stay. And if that's going to happen at noon Chicago time. And so if anybody is a part of the education course, that can obviously stay and participate or listen. And anybody who is not, I would ask you to, this is later, not now, to rejoin us at tomorrow, or probably in about an hour and a half after we get off. So keep that in mind. That's for still later at 12 o'clock Chicago time, not now. So I'm just giving you a little heads up here for those of you who are thinking of maybe wanting to stay and listen. Some of our ex-traders, or not traders, but not ex-traders, but they can stay. All right, that's what I'm trying to say. Otherwise, but again, if you have any questions, I'll be here for a few more minutes. I can answer them really quick for you. And we're here every morning when the market opens up, 8:30 Chicago time, and we give you levels pre-market. Then we trade around the levels. We trade um, through the little price action opportunities that occur, and just kind of let the market kind of do its thing. We have our stops in. We're scalping the market. We wait for those inflection points that the market we believe might bounce off of, and that's what we kind of try to do here every day. All right. Any questions? Feel free to ask. Otherwise, we'll. Maureen, obviously, I see 12 noon Chicago time. That's when we're starting.